What's up, troopers? So I'm back once again with my boy Gridan. He's got his hair out this time, no beanie. We're actually going to be covering a question that was put to us by one of our mutual viewers, Vern, who said, how good would Galaxy Heroes be if it wasn't Star Wars? So that's going to be the topic. But first off, how you doing, Grid?
I'm doing good, man. Obviously tired. No one should be surprised by that at this point.
Not with how much you stream, no.
But I'm doing good. I'm loving life. Had a few changes recently, and I'm just I'm excited to keep rolling and keep going, and yeah, I'm pretty motivated to keep working. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be working with you again. As always, it's a huge pleasure, and I'm really excited to be here again, man. So
good, man. It's great to have you on. So let's get to Vern's question then. How good would Galaxy Heroes be if it wasn't Star Wars? This one really did get me thinking. What do you think?
Yeah, it's one of those questions where as soon as it came out, you look at it and you're just like, you know, you're kind of just like, ooh.
Yep, I was the same.
And yeah, that one really got me thinking because, you know, obviously it's a lot of us talk about it. A whole bunch of content creators talk about it. All the viewers talk about it. All the players talk about it. How much, you know, they're just like, I love this game. I love Star Wars. But if you come at it from a very analytical point, and if you were to take Star Wars away from Galaxy of Heroes and just look at the game, and you look at the developers, you look at the producers, and you're like, would I play this if Darth Maul wasn't attached to this? You know, if there wasn't any of that in here, would I still be around? Or how good is this game when you take away the actual Star Wars aspect of it? I would rate it kind of rough, in all honesty.
Yeah.
You know, like it would get a rough rating from me.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's like the main draw for me to keep coming back was the combination of, well, it's Star Wars and the community that I've built up. But if it wasn't Star Wars, I mean, yeah, it's expensive. It's not graphically as good as a lot of the other games. It's very buggy. There's all sorts of like negatives against it. That if it was a standalone game, its own IP, man, I don't think it would be anywhere near as good, or at least I wouldn't have the Star Wars goggles on, you know?
Yeah, those rose-colored glasses, you know, of Star Wars, because like, yeah, just like you're saying, I mean, bugs left and right, but like big bugs, not like
game-breaking types.
Yeah, not like, you know, if the game isn't loading, that's I mean, it sucks, but you know, it's not a big deal because nothing's going to break.
Yeah.
But if you're in the middle of a match and your interface freezes, you lose the match, and there's no like, oh, your game crashed, that's a bummer, we're going to reset that one, or we're going to kind of, you know, handicap it out. It's just like, oh, dude, that's a bummer. Like, it's almost your fault that the game froze, you know, and you get the consequences of it.
Yeah, I had that actually not long ago. I was getting frozen out in arena. Like I couldn't go. I'd get into an arena battle and it would either just hang there, or I'd win the battle and it would never go to the victory screen, or I would try and log in during my arena time and it would just constantly say I couldn't get into the server. I'd check my internet even though I was on Ethernet and really good connection. It was the game. It was down for everybody. And when I contacted Capital Games through the contact help section, they were just like, "I'll check your internet." I was like, "Well, there's nothing to do with my internet." Like, thousands of people couldn't get into the game, but that was it. I just lost out an entire day's both arena crystals, and it was my fault apparently.
Yeah. It's just like, that's a bummer. Okay. And moving on, and you're like, wait, wait.
I was like, really?
Talk to me. Hell, you gotta give me something. So like, yeah, between actual like game breaking bugs, obviously it's no surprise to anyone at this point, but lack of communication.
That's the big one.
is genuinely. I mean, we've been using this word a lot now, and I'm glad the community is. I mean, people have always kind of voiced their opinions, but a lot of people are starting to get to the point of like, look, I can understand some not as much communication as I would like, and I do have some leniency on it, of course, but at this point, it is insulting. It is like disrespectful as like a player to not get anything. I mean, where's our road ahead, for example? You know, like talk to us, give us something. I've talked about this one before, but I look up to Warframe.
Right.
If you've ever played that one or heard of it.
Yeah, I've briefly played that.
They do live video Q&As with a lot of their viewers, or at least they used to for a long time, and it was a weekly thing. They put themselves in front of the viewers for live questions. It was not we're going to pick and choose the questions that we want. It was live Q&A, and obviously, I mean, they don't. Yeah, right. It was a good heart-to-heart conversation. That was really cool, and I was like, this is awesome. You know, and it's just that level of respect of, we appreciate you guys playing our game. Let's talk to you. And
yeah, I would love something like that.
Communication's a huge one. That would be a big factor. Bugs, communication, paywalls. I mean, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, at the minute we kind of like constantly get all these packs, and it's like, oh yeah, buy this. This is your new content. It's like, but that doesn't lead to anything. It's like, okay, I can power up a character that I've got nothing to do with, and because there's no communication, you don't know if it's even going to be worth it. A lot of people have predicted the game was going to close down by now before, because they weren't saying anything to us whatsoever. That communication is always being one of the black eyes of this game, really. I've played so many similar titles to this, Dragon Champions, Marvel Strike Force, and so on, and this game always stood out as right up there with like Star Wars Force Arena. I don't know if you remember that game, but they never communicated at all either. And both of these titles are just known for that, where you just sit there for like 3 months, like wondering if the game's still alive, quite frankly.
Yeah, I was just talking to a good buddy of mine, Jobin, the other day, just last night, and he's like, dude, what should I, is this pack worth it, or should I, get this thing, or what should I do next, and I was like, honestly, man, I wouldn't do anything until we get at least a road ahead. I was trying to give him advice, and it was I'm sure you've seen around Sandfly. Sandfly is an absolute champ. And he goes, dude, you shouldn't do anything really until you know what's going to happen. Like, you haven't told us much. Who knows what's going to go and what's happening next? We never know. It's hard to predict. Well, you can't predict, and so it's hard to give advice. Some people, I do roster reviews a lot of times with viewers, and lately it's been hard to do them because I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know where the game's going right now.
Yeah, unless they've got like a glaring hole in their roster where it's very obvious. Oh yeah, very weak roster. Work on that team. Yeah. It's kind of like nobody really knows what's happening in this game, to be totally honest with you. So it's like just horde.
Horde. It's a blind leading the blind right now.
It's very, very difficult to understand quite why the devs don't communicate. I understand they don't want to put too much pressure on themselves in the sense that we don't want to promise this and then it's late. But at the same time, give us some crumbs. Tell us you're working on something. The last thing I remember hearing about was they were going to sort of raid after the content of this movie was done, and they mentioned that sometime last year. But is the content of this movie even done? They just don't say anything.
It's interesting where, we've both been playing the game for a long time, and I remember that, like, for example, who was it? Kylo and Finn came out, the OG Kylo and Finn came out before Force Awakens actually even dropped, was it? Or like right after the movie came out? I can't remember.
I think it was just before.
Yeah. And like you already had them, which some people kind of gave them flack for because it's like, well, their kit doesn't like super match the movie type of thing. But at the end of the day, I was like, I don't care. That's fine. Rogue One came out right away.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Rogue One.
Yeah, and then here's, Rise of Skywalker that we're 4 months behind basically. 3 months behind that we finally got Rey and Kylo, and then we just got Resistance Hero Finn to actually be able, or Poe to actually be able to farm him. And
they left that till the event has like started. Crazy.
Never seen anything with it. And it's like, where are you guys? What are you guys working on? I really want to know because you got stuff that's happening in the Star Wars world.
There's so much going on, and you thought we mentioned the Mandalorian content before. Give us a teaser. Release one of the lesser characters as the daily login. It's like, oh my god, something's gonna happen here.
How fun would that be?
They did the last time they did that was Chopper. That was like what 2017, the start of it. It's so long ago since they've done anything like that. But it's like, do something that excites the community, that gets the community talking. We don't even get the puzzles that we used to get.
But if they were to say that, I'd be okay with it. If they were to say, hey guys, we're not actively communicating as much as we'd like because X thing. You know,
Yeah.
we're working hard on this project.
That's all they've got to do.
It takes, just throw crumb out there. Just say, hey guys, we're sorry we haven't been communicating as much. Our road ahead will be here hopefully within the next week. We apologize for that delay. We're just working really hard on this project. We're kind of short-staffed right now, but we're doing our best. Bear with us, please.
Exactly. We understand the crisis that's going on like worldwide right now, but this has been a consistent thing in this game for as long as I remember it, really. It got worse maybe sometime in 2019. There was a little bit more communication before then, at least through the game changes, but we don't even get that now. But it's significantly worse.
The test account.
Yeah, took away the test accounts that weren't even being supported. We didn't have we couldn't have Negotiator or the Malevolence. We couldn't farm them. We couldn't get Caddy Mundi. We couldn't even 7-star General Skywalker or Malik. It was so they weren't even good accounts, and they were taken. It's just very weird, and I think I'm moving on slightly to another subject here, but in regards to the community, but the community are the backbone of this game, and
100%.
And not only are they feeling burned out and neglected and ignored, but it's like the reason the most of the community there, in my opinion, is because this is Star Wars.
Yeah.
So if this wasn't a Star Wars game, you know, Capital Games wouldn't have all these awesome people, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I jumped on every Star Wars mobile game there was when
same.
Force Awakens came out. I re-downloaded, I know you're playing it, The Old Republic. I re-downloaded The Old Republic on my phone, which I had no idea was even a mobile version. I re-downloaded The Old Republic. I downloaded Galaxy of Heroes. I downloaded, what was that one called? They had one just for a minute. And it was weird, but I downloaded it. But there was like the Force Arena, and there was this and that. All these different Star Wars games. I downloaded like 6 of them, you know. And I hopped right into it, and I jumped on the hype train. I was having a whole bunch of fun, and I met all these amazing people. And since then, there have been moments that I wanted to quit the game that I didn't because of this community.
Yes,
because of my guild and my lines.
Exactly the same moments. I'd nearly quit when they just blindsided us with Malik. I was like, "You actually serious?" After everyone just like, some people got there free to play, but not everybody was expecting to need Gear 12 everything. So therefore, we're kind of pressured to spend. And I was really unhappy with that. I'm not a spender. My community actually pitched in to buy me Darth Revan, more or less, because I don't spend, and they wanted to give back to me. But I actually said,
that's cool.
You guys aren't. I'm not accepting donations towards Malik, so just don't even bother. I was so angry by it. And there've been other times where the game's just been so dull and boring, and I've been totally ignored by Capital Games. And it's just like, why do I play this? And it always falls back to my community and the overall Galaxy Heroes community.
Galaxy of Heroes was the first mobile game I ever downloaded and played on my phone.
Wow.
I never played the what's it called? League? No, whatever. Royal something.
Clash Royale? Clash of Clans.
Clash Royale, Clash of Clans, whatever. All those things. I never played any of those. I never did mobile games. I never cared about them. This was the first mobile game I ever really played consistently. And so I would have breezed right over it if it wasn't Star Wars. 100%. I would have had no idea it ever even existed if it was some just whatever sword and magic game.
Yep, I would have done the same. I came from WWE Supercard because everyone knows I'm a pro wrestling fan, MMA fan. Got a background in those, and I was playing that game, but it had no strategy, and I was tired of spending money in it. I was one of the top players in the game, but I got bored. And I flicked through, I was like, is there anything else I can do on my mobile phone? And I saw Star Wars. I was like, oh. And I gave it a look. But I skimmed past several similar games because they weren't Star Wars. So the same would have happened if this wasn't.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of people who, like me and you, have been on the fence about quitting the game because of how rough the game is to play.
Yeah.
You know? That they would have quit a lot sooner if the game wasn't Star Wars. You know, like I invested so much time into the game because it was Star Wars. So then I met the community that I have and now I've grown to love, and then I'm staying for them. But if you got rid of that initial playing the game for a long time because it's Star Wars step, I wouldn't have met the community. I never would have been here, and I wouldn't have any reason to stay.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. I'm sponsored on other games, and I've since dropped those games because I don't have the connection to the IP that I do to Galaxy Heroes, and that's all leaning on the fact that it's Star Wars. So I suppose the big question, the one that Vern probably really wants to know is, would you have played this, or would you still play it if it wasn't Star Wars related? So say the IP disappeared, would you play it?
You know, honestly, if it were to just disappear, you know, if they were to have to switch everything on over to something else, I would play it for a little bit longer, and I mean, I'd probably drop it. I really would. I would keep my Discord. I'd stay with my community. Or if people were like, I love this new game, we're gonna keep playing it, I would stay for sure. And from the get-go, if it never was Star Wars, I don't think I would have stuck around. I mean, that's exactly what happened with other little games that I've played, and like Dragon Champions, you know, I downloaded it, played it for a little bit, and I was just like, I mean, it's okay, but I'm obsessed with. I'm wearing a Star Wars T-shirt right now. I mean,
it doesn't have that draw, that hook, because it's not the
exactly.
IP that you've got that long-term love with, basically.
Yeah, and so I think to boil it down to just a simple answer, I would probably say no. If it wasn't Star Wars, I don't think I'd be able to play it that much.
I think the same. I think if this wasn't Star Wars to begin with, I would never have touched it. And if it was to lose the IP and have to slightly transition, I think I'd very, very quickly drop it, because it's. I mean, that's the reason I'm here. That's the thing that I love about the game more than any.
Yeah.
There are a lot of similar games, in my opinion, which do most things better than Galaxy Heroes, but they're just not Star Wars. And
but I will throw on, in a optimistic sense, I guess, or more on the kind of positive side of things. Obviously, we've been ragging on on CG a little bit here, though. Well, this isn't so good about CG, but for Galaxy of Heroes, on the flip side, if they were to pull CG and put in a different producer or developer to manage the game, I think things would skyrocket, you know?
Anyone that wanted this to be a success and really put the effort into it, I think could just transform it. CG could even just transform this if they start communicating and just really pushing the fact that this is we've got the Star Wars IP here. We've got unlimited potential with this game.
Oh yeah, unlimited power.
Exactly. But it's just in their hands.
It's there. Just do it, guys. And we talked about this before. I know we did. It's just like, it's there. It's there. And we want you guys to succeed, because we do love the game.
Exactly.
We do love Star Wars, and we do want to stay here. But you guys, it feels like you're almost purposefully trying to drive us out at this point. You know?
Yeah. I feel the same. It's just strange to me that the game is in such a lull all the time. It's just like, just push that little thing out so that there's something in this next 3-month cycle. Yeah. Whereas other games are like, oh, we got this coming and this coming and this coming and we're doing this, and it's like, why can't we have that too?
They're CG's buying themselves time, just milking stuff out, while other games are proactive.
Yeah,
and bringing content and more stuff to the game to keep their players hooked, not just sitting back being like, it's Star Wars, they're gonna stay, we'll do whatever we want.
That's kind of how it feels most of the time.
It's I almost didn't want to answer the question, you know, like, would you still play if it wasn't Star Wars? And you're kind of like, you know, but it's hard, dude.
Yeah,
it's a rough game.
If I just had to look at it as a vanilla game compared to other vanilla games, it's just not as good as a lot of them. And the thing that's kept me passionate so long and finding all these little mechanics of favorite characters of mine is because it's Star Wars. So I think that they really just need to do something to turn this game around, because they can if they want to. It's that simple.
There's a lot of job openings at CG. Maybe we should just go apply just for fun.
We should.
See if they bring us on, and we'll just be like, hey guys, let's have some ideas. Let's play this.
I think anyone with passion could turn this around. So
I think so.
That's about it then, dude. I think we kind of hit all the points that we wanted to hit in this video. So be sure to let us know what you think. Would you still play this if it wasn't Star Wars related? What do you think of the community, the game as a whole? Let us know in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe. Also subscribe to Gridan, obviously. And yeah, you'll see us again soon, I'm sure, because we're collabing constantly.
Yes, 100%, brother. Let's do it.
Exactly. We'll knock out as many collabs as we can to keep you entertained in these difficult times. So thank you for watching, guys, and until next time, we out of here.